So let's start. Let's other join. We should be starting now. So last class we left here. Today we'll start with water quality index. So as you know that water is also a very precious natural resource for us, and the quality is what matters always. Okay, because if the water is contaminated with any harmful things like organisms or maybe any heavy metals or pesticides or insecticides, okay, any such thing which is harmful to us, it can affect adversely our health also. Okay, so water quality index is also very much important for the assessing various stress and overall water quality of a place. Okay, and there are various organizations throughout the world which have set up parameters to check the quality of this water using water quality index. Okay, like your US National Sanitary Foundation water quality index, NSFWQI, Canadian Council of Ministry of Environmental Water Quality Index, CCME-WQI, and British Columbia Water Quality Index, VCWQI. Okay, all these are the different institutions who have set up parameters. Okay, and if you will categorize a water quality index, then basic water quality was started by Hudson in 1965. Okay, it's long back. And in 1970, a general water quality index was developed by Brownetter. Okay, so these are the findings. And according to this research only, these in ministries or these organizations have set up their water quality index. Okay, so they have also developed strategies for pollution control and have a bigger challenges in developing country as a cost in the limiting factor. Okay, because see the problem with the developing countries is an underdeveloped country is the cost of living. Okay, the cost of living is very low there. So providing a very pure form of water or water which is up to the standard at a very low price is always essential if we have to target these developing countries and underdeveloped countries, because they don't have much money to spend. Because if you have money, then people, for example, we all nowadays using RO. Okay, but this RO is hardly found in 10% household of India. Not everybody can afford it. Okay, but for example, if we can create a filter tomorrow which can do all these things at 1/10th of the price of an RO purifier, then that is what a blessing for us. That is what we require as a developing country or a underdeveloped country. Okay, then basic procedures of water quality index development. So it's a challenge to extract meaningful information from large quantity of data present with number of waste quality parameters. Okay, and the first step of water quality index development is varies our parameter selection by expert opinion approaches. So we should take expert opinion. This is the first parameter. Various parameters are measured in different units and have different ranges. Thus, transformation of all the parameters into a common scale is necessary. Weightage is assigned to each parameters according to their significant and potential impact as the water quality and sub-indices are generated. Next step in the aggregation of the sub-indices to generate cumulative index values. Okay, first we'll take a major factor. From that sub-factors to get a cumulative value. So water quality index is an algorithm that expresses a measure of the quality state of the water obtained by either deductive or inductive methods. There are two methods, either by deductive method or inductive method. It is a pure mathematical calculation which gives the water quality index. This is the equation. Okay, where W1 is a relative weight and N is a number of parameters. And here Q1 is equal C1 by S1 into 100, where Q is the quality rating, C1 is the concentration of parameter mg per liter, S1 is the standard for each parameters. SLI is a WI and QI, where SLI is the sub indices of the one parameter and WQI is the summation of SLI. So the summation of all these sub indices give us the overall water quality of a source. Obviously, as I told, water has many sources from where it can get contaminated. Okay, that is why we need all these sub indices, and by summing up all these, we can know the water quality index. So classification of WQI water quality index is done as excellent, good, poor, very poor, and unfit for drinking. From the indices range, if it is less than 50, then we call it as good, excellent. 50 to 100 is good, 100 to 200 is poor, and 200 to 300 is very poor, and less than greater than 300 is unfit for drinking. Okay, so acceptable water quantity index. This index provides an evaluation of the people's opinion about the water quality, as it considers more such parameters that causes undesirable taste or odor in the drinking water rather than specific health issues. The parameters which do not have any detrimental health effect are considered for the calculation of the index by ammonia, chlorine, iron, pH, sodium, sulfate, zinc, and fecal coliform bacteria as a microbial parameter. On the availability of the data, various countries consider a number of parameters for index calculation. And the calculation is done simply as WQI, calculated by assigning weight to the parameter, followed by sub-index calculations, and finally WQI, calculation by summarization of the sub-indices. So health water quality index takes into account chemical and radioactive constituent as arsenic, boron, cadmium, chromium, copper, fluoride, lead, manganese, mercury, nitrate, and fecal coliform bacteria, which have potential adverse health effect. The calculation is done similarly as WQI calculation by assigning weight to the parameter followed by sub-index. So calculations and the final WQI calculations by summarization of the indices. This is how the water quality index is. What are the advantages? Various water quality indices assimilate with water quality variability and provide a comprehensive assessment report on water quality, reducing huge data setup into single index value. A WQI summarizes large amount of water quality data into simpler terms. And disadvantage, limitation of many water quality indices are incorporating, say, in cooperative selective water quality variability and provides deterministic output and eclipsing of data in WQI calculation. If you are giving wrong data or if some data is getting hidden due to another data, okay, and limitations are many water quality indices are incorporating, okay, they do not incorporate selective water quality. So these are the main disadvantages of WQI. Then we will come to soil quality and its pollution. So fourth unit. and I hope so it is the last unit. So if you see soil quality, so we know that soil has majorly two roles in environment. This I have already discussed during soil pollution. Okay, we don't need to discuss about soil. I have already told you how soil is important. Okay, what are the characteristics of soil and the components? The major component of soils are organic and inorganic matter. Okay, coupled with soil, air, and water. And organic matter mainly includes your things which are added to the soil from the degradation of the plant material and everything. Okay, these add to the organic matter, and inorganic matter are the minerals which are already present in the soil. So it is 45% mineral, 28% air, 28% water, and 5% of organic matter, which we call it also as humus. Okay, that is the biological substance which get decayed and added to the soil. So inorganic elements includes commonly from the earth surface such as oxygen, silicon, aluminum, iron, calcium, potassium, magnesium. As I told you, all the minerals which are already naturally present on the earth surface, they add to the inorganic components. Okay. When nutrients are added to suffix the soil proper soil condition needed for plant growth is called as soil fertilization with the adding of fertilizers. Okay, to enhance the production of some enhance the what you can say uh, availability of nutrient to the soil is called as soil fertilization. Then organic matter, as I told you before, also humus. These are the inorganic soil, the plant and animal decay upon their death and are acted upon by soil microorganism. Formation of essential component of the soil called as humus. Though it is very less, 5%, but it is one of the most essential component of the soil. Okay, then soil water, if we will see, it is an important part of soil because without water, none of the trees and everything can die. But it is again of different type. So a portion of such water became a part of the soil via precipitation. A portion of such precipitation falls on the ground and is evaporated, but the remaining part either gets absorbed by the soil or engulfed in water bodies. So water present in the Vadosa zone of the soil profile is called as soil water. The Vadosa zone is a zone of unsaturated water flow. Soil water is essential because of the dissolution of inorganic and organic materials into soil water, though through which it is utilized by plants. Additionally, soil water is also an ingredient for plant sustenance and act as a catalyst for the chemical reaction occurring in soil. Okay, because many chemical reaction takes place in the soil. Oh, this shows the three different types of soil. This is unsaturated soil where the water is very low in the ground water. is a saturated soil where the groundwater is just below the vegetation, water is stored in the pores, and this is a flooded soil where the water is above the ground level. Okay. The soil water sticks to soil particles by addition, resulting in the formation of clumps by a phenomenon called as surface tension. The soil water that is relatively available to the plant for the usage is called as capillary water. It is basically water remaining in the soil after gravitational water gets drained out. We know that anything which is present on the earth is acted by gravity, which what it does, it attracts those things towards the center of the earth, and it also happens to the water. Okay, and what it happens, due to which the water goes down, which creates our groundwater. So the soil water that is readily available in for to plant or usage is called as capillary water. Okay, this is the water which is rising through the pores of the soil. Is basically water remaining in the soil after gravitational water get dried out. Interestingly, capillary water can move vertically as well as horizontally, since it's moved from the soil with sulfur water to water deficient soil. Although capillary water could get evaporated, the dissolved mineral remains in the topsoil or deposits. Excess of such deposit can be detrimental to the plant. For example, deposition of calcium carbonate or lime called calci prevents percolation of water downward. This is a hydroscopic water which is of no use because it is bound to the soil. This is the capillary water which is taken up by the plants, and this is your gravitational water which is again drained out of the root zone. So water percolated down the soil layer directed towards the water table is called as gravitational water. It moves through the void available in between the soil particles. As it migrates downwards, the dissolved minerals are transported to the lower the soil layer. In situations of heavy rain, there could be depletion of nutrients from upper to the soil layer. It is called as leaching. Okay, so if there is a degradation of the topmost part, we call it as leaching. Gravitational water also causes mixing of soil particles. Finer soil particles from topsoil could get transported to lower layers. This could be detrimental as the soil particles remains in topsoil could be coarsened and thereby diminished water retention by the topsoil. Apart from capillary and gravitational water, there is another category of soil water called as hydroscopic water, which is bound to the soil particles by electric forces and do not move through the soil. In soil air, the void available between the soil particles and the soil clumps, which gets deprived of soil water and contains air or gases, is called as soil air. So obviously, if there is opening and there is nothing, then air always fills up those opening in earth. Okay, same is with the soil also. They have more of carbon dioxide and humidity and less of oxygen when compared to the atmospheric composition of the air. Soil air supplies these gases to the soil microbes to carry out their life processes. The necessity of soil air could be seen from the fact that the soil saturated with water are deficient in soil air, and as consequence of which many plants cannot survive. That is why in flooded soil, okay, many plants cannot survive. Having discussed the various components of the soil, we need to discuss the various characteristics of the soil and how the presence of various of the soil components is differ amount is responsible for determining of the various soil characters. The first is soil color. Soil color helps in identifying the soil type and is the clue of the soil characteristics. Obviously, because the characteristics color of the soil is due to the minerals present in it. Humus is soils are dark because of the fact that decomposed organic matter is brown to black in color. Presence of humus makes the soil productivity, as a result of which dark soil is known to be rich. Less decomposition of organic matter causes lighter shades of brown or black soil. Leaching can lead to reduction in the organic content, resulting in light color brown or black soil. However, the soil forming factors also makes the soil dark and not essentially humus. Okay, so if it is dark due to minerals, then it is not humus, it is the mineral which is present. The presence of iron makes the soil reddish to yellowish in color. Iron could get leached out in moist climatic condition, leaving behind oxides of aluminum and silicon, making the soil light gray to white in color. However, such gray or white color is dried climate indicates the presence of accumulated calcium salt also. See, this is given the different layers of the soil. The first layer looks black because of the humus. Second layer has calcium deposit, so it is looking white. Here we can see red soil. Okay, so this is how the color of the soil changes with layer after layer. Then soil texture. The particles are or these or their distribution which constitute the soil is called as soil texture. Clay particles, so mainly soil has these particles. Clay particles have a diameter less than 0.002 mm. Silt particle lies in the range of 0.002 to 0.05 mm. Sand lies in the range of 0.05 to 2 mm. Soil particles larger than 2 mm is called as pebbles, gravels, or rocks. So scientists use this system of soil classification globally. The presence of various soil particles is in different proportion determines the texture of the soil. So a triangular graph as can be seen from the figure. So these are different size of the particles of the soil and soil particles present. So this is a triangular graph, okay, in which a triangle, okay, and accordingly your things are arranged on it. Soil texture assistant is determine the capacity of soil in moisture and air retention which is essential for the growth of the plant. Soil rich in large soil particles are well aerated. They assist water to percolate downwards quickly. Sometimes the percolation is so quick that plants are unable to capture the water. Soil rich in clay particles do not assist in water percolation, as a result of which keep water lost and lack soil air. So air is an essential component for soil water. Therefore, the soil must regulate be plugged to increase in access to the air. The soil texture is measured by methods such as hydrometer, etc., or fuel cell or field method. Then soil structure. Arrangement of soil particles in is called a soil structure. Some particles get clumped into masses like the soil beds. It gives a distinct structure to the soil. Soil structure affects soil porosity and permeability. Clay soils are richly porous, while sandy soils are highly permeable. This factor influence the moisture available in the soil and soil drainage also. Because structure on a structure, all these factor depends. And there are many other things which affect the soil factor, like human beings or biogeochemical nutrient cycles, agriculture practices, or irrigation and fertilizer are tried after the soil structure. Then fertilizer enhance clumping in soil, while an excess of magnesium or sodium makes clay sticky when wet and cement-like when dry. For the development of proper soil structure, So the scientists classify soil structure by the form. They include granulars, clumps, spheroids, prisms, columns, blocks, and plates. Soil with immediate size allow better aeration and drainage, which makes them more useful. Granular, it contains small rounded pads commonly found near a surface where root activity is present. In platy, it consists flat and thin plates like pads, which are horizontally oriented. It is common in horizon or highly compact soil. Blocky, it contains sharp edge plates arranged in angular or square block. It is common in the subsoil in humid regions. Prismatic, it contains plates vertically longer than horizontally. They are known to have flat tops. Columnar is similar to prismatic, having rounded tops. They are common in arid and semi-arid soils. So these are the different types of soil. Example: granular, single grain, blocky, then prismatic, platy. It's having different plates. Then massive, very slow. This is how the water movements show different soil particles: granular soil, prismatic soil, blocky soil, and platy soil. So these are the different types of soil photos. Then comes a block density. It refers to the mass of soil. In soil is known volume of the soil. It increases with soil compaction or with an increase in the soil composition. The plant root find the plant's root find it difficult to penetrate the soil profile. Just give me a minute. Then we'll come to block density. It refers to the mass of soil and a known volume of the soil. It increases with the soil compaction, and with an increase in the soil compaction, the plant roots have its difficulty to penetrate the soil profile. Okay, it is mainly the porosity of the soil. We call it as a bulk density. Means more denser the soil, the harder it is for the plant to the penetrate. Okay, that is why we go for plowing of the fields before planting any plants. Okay, so that is why, so that it becomes the density of the soil decreases and it is easier for plants to enter into the soil. So for clay soil, ideal bulk density to the support plant growth lies in less than 1.10 gram per centimeter. However, for sandy soil, ideal bulk density is 1.6 because sandy soil is a granular soil. So here the block density can be great, more. Then also your plant can penetrate. Loosely porous increases, the bulkity density decreases. Okay. So however, if sandy soil are packed loosely, porosity increases and bulk density decreases. So Dow and Watson found that higher clay percentage in soil decreases soil bulk density, cause because of the increased pore size. Okay. So this is what your block density is. Means a block of the soil, how much weight by volume it has soil. We call it as a bulk density. Then water holding capacity is the amount of water which can be retained by the soil. Okay, like available water for plant uptake on available water, and field capacity, and uh, per permanent wilting point. Your permanent wilting point is the is the point at which there is irrecoverable loss of the rigidity in a plant due to lack of availability of the water. Okay, it happens many a times in our pots when during the summers, because in pots we had a little less amount of water. Okay, and the capacity is also not more. So what will happen? There will be permanent wilting. Sometimes after adding water, also the plant will not regenerate. And saturation is poor filled up with water, means like the flooded soil. This is saturation where there is too much of water. This is field capacity is wilting point where there is no water. Then soil porosity, I have already told you, these are the small pores which are present in the soil. Okay, it is called as soil porosity. Okay, the space where, and mainly pores space can be classified into microspore space and macrospore space. The capillary pore space and non-capillary. Macrospore are bigger holes which are not used by capillary water to rise, but microspores are small pores which through which water rises. That is why we call as capillary pore spaces. Then soil temperature, also we know that according to the climate, temperature of the soil also changes. Okay, that comes under soil temperature. Then chemical properties, cation exchanger capacity. It refers to the total amount of exchangeable cation which can be absorbed by the soil. Soil that soil has clay and organic matters which are changed negatively, that is they are anionic. So consequently they possess the capacity to hold positively charged ion, that is cations such as the sodium, potassium and calcium. They are absorbed by soil when prevents them from getting leached and makes them available to be used by the plants. Then comes the anion exchanger, as it was cation exchanger. Here it is anion exchanger. The component exchanger are OH minus, H2PO4, hydrogen phosphate, dihydrogen phosphate, then sulfate, then nitrate. These are the ion exchanger present in the soil, which exchange with the anion. Then acidity and alkalinity, we all know pH. Okay, so either the soil is acidic or alkaline. Okay, depends on that type of agriculture can be done. Then nutrients. Just give me a minute, I am coming. The nutrients, plant need a number of elements. We know that. Okay, and most essential of them are nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, sulfur, magnesium, and calcium. These are the micronutrients. Macronutrients which are needed in more amount, and the micronutrients which are needed in small amounts, like your iron, manganese, cobalt, molybdenum, copper, nickel, zinc, etc. Nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium are the primary nutrient among macronutrients, while sulfur, magnesium, and calcium are secondary nutrients. So, okay. So, for the healthy growth of the plant, all these elements are required by the plants. It has decayed how a healthy leaves look. A nitrogen deficiency, due to nitrogen deficiency, there is chlorosis. There is phosphorus deficiency. There is chlorosis. Then potassium deficiency. This causes premature aging of the leaf, and the leaf becomes the leaves falls down. First is nitrogen. It is needed in great amount that is unavailable. We make it the most limited to the plant growth. Although the atmosphere contains nearly 79% of the nitrogen, but that nitrogen cannot be used by the plant. So it is only used in the form of salt, nitrates and nitrites, which need to be changed. Then phosphorus, the second largest amount of nutrient needed to the plant, and it is majorly derived from weathering and decomposition of organic matter in the soil. Phosphorus is available in very low concentration in the soil. That is why we use the NPK fertilizers for the plant growth. And most of the soil phosphorus is in an insoluble form, which not available to be used up by the plant. Soluble form of phosphorus are added by fertilizer. Okay. Then potassium, it is available in more quantities than compared to other nutrients, and it is essential in the as it provides protection to the plant against disease. Potassium exists in soil in mineral form and is not easily available for plant uptake. The mineral containing potassium, such as mica and feldspar, are weathering resistant, as a result of which their availability reduces. Nearly 2% of the soil potassium is available for plant uptake in solution or exchangeable form. Then factors affecting soil formation is the parent rock, which determine the color. Then climate, type of climate. Okay, rainfall, influence rate of weathering and humus. Then relief, altitude and slope determination. Flora, fauna and microorganisms, and time. So these are the soil forming factors. How a barren land get converted into what do we say, forest. So it all begins with a bedrock, then organic materials, then horizon form, then developing subsoil and thick vegetation, which we called it as a forest. So parent matter is the rock from which the soil formation is taking place. We call it as a parental rock. Okay, that depends depends on the color of the soil. Then is the organic availability. The flora and fauna affecting the development of soil is also different with way general. Okay, for example, plant root. You must have seen when a plant grows on a rock. After some time, the rocks get broken due to the root activity. So they also help in formation of the soil. Then climate. Climate is a major factor which causes the natural weathering of the rock and leads to the formation of the soil. Then landscape configuration, land slope, its relief and its orientation influence soil development. There is better drainage in steep slopes in comparison to gentle ones. Further, they are prone to rapid surface water runoff. Consequently, there is less water percolation in the steeper slopes, which has a negative impact on the soil development. Additional rapid surface water runoff can erode soil and steep slopes quicker than the pace of the soil development. That is why mountains have a very thin layer of soil, because they always get time. We all know that soil is inclined to develop towards the state of equilibrium with the surrounding. A soil is mature and attendance of equilibrium. Young soils are thrive to reach a state of equilibrium with their environment. Okay, so time is a very important factor in the formation of the soil. Weathering, we all know that. Okay, how the rocks get degraded. Physical weathering, which is caused due to your wind and everything. Okay, is also called as mechanical weathering. This is a mechanical degradation of large rock into smaller fragments. The smaller fragment easily eroded and transported in compared to the larger fragment. The breakdown of the rock into smaller fragments assisted additional weathering caused because of the increase in the surface area. The first is the unloading. Rock are formed under very high pressure and they are uplifted to surface through tectonic process of mountain building. And the erosional strip of these uplifted rock is called as uploading. Okay, the way the lava solidifies and the rock rises to the surface is called as uploading. This is how uploading takes place. The mountain grows up, and from the surface it starts eroding. Thermal expansion and contraction, due to which the surface breaks. Then freeze-thaw weathering. Okay, what happens if there is a small hole in the rock? Water will get stuck in it, and when the temperature becomes low, it will become ice. And we know that water has the special property of anomalous expansion of water, due to which what will happen? The wa- the size of the ice is bigger than the water molecule. So what will happen? It will cause degradation of the cracks and form more cracks like this, and slowly the soil, the rock will get destroyed or weathered. Salt crystal good. These are the presence of dissolved salt in water which can fill up the cracks. Upon filling of the cracks and the consequent evaporation, the salt crystals begin accumulating in these cracks. These eventually break apart the rock. Then hydration. In this process, water molecules attach itself to the crystalline structure of the minerals without any association change in the mineral composition. Mineral expands upon hydration and shrinks on dehydration. Such hydration and dehydration expands and contract the cracks in the rock, resulting in the disintegration of the rock. Then chemical weathering, if it is done by chemical, then first is oxidation. Various metals in rock can be oxidized upon their contact with oxygen present in water and form oxides of the mineral. Interestingly, water is rich in oxygen content. Metal, including aluminum and iron, are most commonly oxidized, causing the formation of aluminum and iron ore as new products. These oxides are chemically more stable in comparison to the original rock, and they provide a distinctive color to the new products. Further, they are less hard and large in volume. Iron oxide could provide orange, red, or yellow color to the rock. This is the example of chemical weathering by oxidation. Okay. In carbonates and solution, water contains a huge amount of dissolved carbon dioxide in addition to dissolved oxygen. Such dissolved carbon dioxide is obtained from atmosphere or decaying organic matter. Weathering can be caused because of the carbonation, where carbon dioxide dissolves in water, chemically reacts with rock mineral, producing carbonates and bicarbonates depending upon the composition of the mineral. This is how carbonates deteriorate the carbonation deteriorates the rock. Then hydrolysis. It is different from hydration since it can have physical weathering. But in hydrolysis, water reacts with chemical components of mineral in rock, producing new compounds. Here, the dissolved oxygen or carbon dioxide does not participate. There is a reaction between the hydrogen ion and the hydroxide ions and the minerals in rock. Most of the silicate minerals are susceptible to hydrolysis. It produces clay minerals. Interestingly, clay minerals are also affected by hydration. Water being a weathered agent, hydrolysis is not limited to exposed portion of rock, but also affects the subsurface in rocks. Then this is an example of the hydrolysis weathering of the rock. Okay. Then biotic weathering, it involves weathering caused by fauna and flora. There are many, actually we call them as rock eaters. Okay, these are mainly lichens which eat rocks. They grow on the surface of the rock and secrete enzymes which digest the rock. Okay, they also cause weathering, and it comes under chemical weathering. Okay, you can see these biological leaching. These are the lichens, okay, or mosses which grow on earth and grow on rock and destroy the rock. Then chemical weathering is enabled by humid climate conditions and diminishing by arid climate. Arid regions see more of physical weathering, such as salt crystal growth or hydration. Rock type weathering is affected by types of bedrock: hard, soft, broken, unbroken, and solute, insoluble. A rock strong from a particular environment could be weak for another. For example, limestone is resistant to arid region but susceptible to carbonation in humid region. Okay, so weather is also a very important factor. Then structural weakness of the rock. Okay, if there is a crack or joint, it also helps in the the weathering of the rock. Then slope orientation, the exposure of slope to the sun, wind, and precipitation is affected by orientation of the slope. Then vegetation. Then development of soil horizon. The process of soil development begins with flora and fauna colonizing rock and parental material on which soil is bound to form. Okay, so if there is a rock surface, then slowly small plants will grow. Actually, the first organism to grow on a barren soil, barren rock surface are the lichens, which I showed you in the biological weathering. They are known as the pioneer of what you we can say succession. Okay, they are the pioneers. They are the first organism to grow. These organisms go on degrading the earth, rock, and also die up, keeps on dying to form a thin layer of the soil. These thin layers on this thin layer of soil, many small plants start growing, and these again start dying up, which lead to the thicker layer of soil formation, and then medium size of plants start growing, and they die up, finally giving them another thicker layer of soil, and finally the huge plants start growing and making it in converting into a soil, into a forest. So several distinct layer. Okay, we know soil is a layer after layer. Okay, this is called as soil layer. Within the soil profile are called as soil horizon. There is an O horizon at the surface, mostly in place where there is an abundance of litter, means organic matter. A horizon is located below the O horizon. This is commonly called as topsoil. Generally, a horizon containing decomposed organic matter, as a result of which is dark in color. E horizon is placed beneath the a horizon. It is named after the strong alluvial process existing in the horizon. E is placed below the is placed beneath the A horizon. Then the B horizon is located beneath the E horizon. C horizon is located beneath the B horizon, and the lowest layer is called as R horizon. Soil can develop different horizons distinctly depending upon the process involved in soil formation and development. The distinct soil profiles could be seen in different types of soil. Okay, this we have already discussed. This is the layering of the soil and how it is developed. Then comes the soil classification, different types of soil. Azo Azonal soils, these are the immature soil, that is, they lack well developed soil profile. Okay, distinct soil horizon. Then in intra means these are the newly formed soil. Intrazonal soil, they can be located within various zonal soil. They are between the zones. Then calcimorphic or calciferous soil. These soils found from calcium rich rock such as limestone. Then Rengenia soil. These soils are thin in volume. These are thin in volume and have a less water retention capacity than terra rossa soil. Then clay soil, poor space in this soil gets saturated with water and there is absence of soil water. Then your pita soil. These soils develop in condition preventing complete breakdown of the vegetation. Then halomorphic soil. These soils develop when soil becomes salinized and the concentration of salt elevates to very high level. Okay. Then zonal soil. These soils have distinct soil horizon and the soil profile is well developed. Under it comes the laterite soil. They are found in areas receiving high precipitation or equatorial rainforest. Then red soil. Red soil they are found in tropical areas and receive high amount of rainfall. Red and yellow soil. They are found in large areas with an abundance of precipitation. Then black soil, have a origin from the lava flow. They are reduced. Then comes your Carnozems. These are the soil that are found in grassland. Then chestnuts. These are found in area of chestnut belt. Then xerozoms. These are found in continental deserts of middle latitude, including Central Asia and North America. Then podzolz. They are found in forest of mid. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Sorry, actually the power got down of my neckband. I'm just connecting another one. That is why I went there.
Okay, sir.
So, am I audible now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank
Some
some
classification
that's
between United States. Then alkaline
then
soil.
after
If the pH of the soil is above 7, we know that we call it as alkaline soil, are also known as sweet soil. These soils, why is it going? So, according to the pH, it can be alkaline soil. Then saline soil, if it is rich with salt, like sodium ion rich, then we call it as saline soil. This is the example of saline soil. You can see the salt on surface of the soil. So we call it as a saline soil. Then soil pollution, I have already discussed in my first class itself. Okay, if you are adding any unwanted thing, we call it soil pollution, which may be from mining activities or agriculture practices or dumping of waste. Anything can be the cause. Okay, and these are all already I have told you. Okay, I am not discussing anymore. And how to control it, soil pollution and agriculture, because we know that if it is the soil is contaminated, then the food which is we are obtaining from it is also contaminated, which will cause health issues to us. So I am coming to the next block. We all know what is radioactivity. Okay, if a substance is emitting or getting disintegrated automatically, we call them as radioactive substances. Okay, and the property is called radioactivity. And the such compounds are uranium, thorium, protactinium. Okay, these are all radioactive, sir, because they produce radiation. This phenomenon was discovered by a French physicist and Nobel laureate Henri Barsequel in 1896. So radionuclides are the atoms which emits energy while transforming spontaneous to become more stable nuclei. Because these elements are not stable, that is why they spontaneously disintegrate to form new compounds. So there are different forms of radiation which we are exposed. Some are man-made, some are natural, because these chemicals are also naturally found. Okay, and some are created by us. Means not created, means we use them for our energy need and everything and get exposed. So naturally, which radiation we call it as background radiation, but when it is man-made, we call it as a direct radiation. Okay. So radiation decay in home, cosmic rays reaching to Earth from universe, gamma rays from Earth are unstable radionuclides. Other sources of norms are mines of coals, metal, oil, and gases, and production of the phosphate, rare earth, zirconium, geothermal, etc. Units of radiation. Radiation can be measured in units. Okay, radioactivity exposure, absorbed dose and dose equivalent rate. Radioactive strength, which is the rate of decay, is measured in BQ and Curie CI, whereas BQ is 1 decay per second, while as Curie is equal to 37,000 MBQ. Okay. Absorbed dose or physical dose, amount of energy deposited in a unit is in an object is measured in gray, GY, and radiation absorbed dose, rad, whereas gray is equivalent to 100 grad. 1 gray is equivalent to 100 rad. So measurement of the rate, amount, and distribution of radiation while it interacts with environment is known as radiation dosimeter. Vasical Gray Sylvester and International System Unit of Measuring SI unit, while Curie and Radiation Absorbed Dose RAD are non-SI units. In measurement and detection, there are two instruments used to measure radiation: particle counting and dose measurement. Both measure particles or photons number, but provides result in counting per time and dose or dose per time respectively. So, what are the effects? So, your radiation have very harmful effects on biological organisms. Okay, classification the effect natural, somatic, or genetic, effects time, early or delay, and mechanism and direction effect. Okay, so these are the factors on which the effect of radiation depends. Okay, these are the biological effects, and your genetic effect is mainly damages to the DNA, which leads to the mutation. We all know the case of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, the problem faced by those peoples where the first nuclear bomb exploded. Okay, and somatic effects may involve negative impact on fetus, damage to cells, their functions and division rates, skin care, and leukemia, anemia, and consequent muscle weakness, and poor digestion are the consequence of radiation on bone marrow and gastrointestinal tract. So these are all your somatic effects. Genetic effects is the damage of the DNA, and these are the somatic effects. Radioactive fallout. Airborne radioactive particles ranging certain millimeters that fall to the ground during and after atomic bombing, nuclear weapon test, or nuclear plant accident is termed as radioactive fallout. So these are the radioactive particles which fall down to the earth after any such activity. It consists of debris, products of fusion, and radioactive soil. May also be early fallout or delay. Okay, local fallout consists of large particles and is a threat mainly due to the gamma rays, because we know that the most dangerous ray among the radiation, alpha, beta, and gamma, is the gamma ray because it is chargeless. Okay, so has a high penetration power, so very damaging. So exposed radiation from fallout may happen due to breathing, food grown in the fallout area, through direct and indirect skin contact, as per the study in US. Recent cases, first is Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Okay, so in August 1945, the Sioux cities in Japan experienced use of atom bomb, resulting in the death of around 150,000 to 2 lakhs people. The cause were mainly due to the heat, physical force, and radioactivity. Victim bodies at the center of the bombs were literally vaporized. Means the people who were at the close vicinity of the bomb were literally vaporized. Just imagine a person will turn into vapor. Okay, the bombs were made up of uranium-235 and plutonium-239. The quantity used was around 70 kg together of higher enriched uranium and plutonium with a yield of 15 to 20 kiloton each. Studies suggest that the radiation resulted in new babies with smaller size of head, with mental disability, and increased risk of cancer. According to an estimate, the risk of leukemia for bomb victims is around 46%. Next case is your Chernobyl disaster. During April 1816, an accident occurred in a nuclear power plant in the Ukrainian city of Chernobyl. Due to the violation of the safety protocols, the accident led to the exposure of nuclear core into the atmosphere, which was around 60 metric ton of uranium. The accident led to the evacuation of over 3 lakhs people from an exclusion zone around 30 kilometers. Around 600,000 children were affected by thyroid cancer. Although majority of them were treated, around 6 lakh cleanup workers were exposed to different levels of radiation since the accident. Physiosocial impacts such as the depression were also noted. A concrete sarcophagus, which was needed to initially build 1986 to contain the radiation, is now rebuilt by joining fund of G7 and the European Commission and Ukraine government to convert it into a stable and safe system. Third is your Fukushima Diana nuclear accident. Fukushima Diana nuclear accident took place in the March level due to the combined effect of earthquake. We all know that this was in Japan, earthquake and tsunami, leading to disruption of power supply lines and operational and safety infrastructure at the site location in Japan, Pacific coast in Fukushima. One of the largest recorded earthquake in the history on March 11. Greater East Japan earthquake caused tsunami waves which destroyed the Fukushima nuclear plant to the large extent, causing station blackout and subsequently heat generation leading to nuclear meltdown, which resulted into emission of radiation to the neighboring areas and ocean. A report by government of Japan mentioned radiation to be around 15% of that in Chernobyl, and the accident also contaminated the oceans water and released iodine 131. This accident is considered the largest nuclear disaster after Chernobyl disaster. This accident, permanently 2 lakhs people were evacuated. Case 4, Mayapuri, Delhi, radiological accident. In April 2010, Mayapuri scrap market. This is pure negligence from our people, due to which this radiation, this thing. In April 2010, Mayapuri scrap market, Asia's biggest scrap market in Delhi, experienced radioactive exposure of cobalt-60, a radioactive element, due to ignorant dismantling of a machine known as gamma irradiator used in the Delhi University chemistry lab. That's what I told. This is pure ignorance from our side. The machine which was lying unused in the lab for last many years, was auctioned and bought by the scrap dealer in Mayapuri. The exposure caused death of one person, injured to some others. It is reported that from 20 days, doctors could not find out the cause of injury for bearing cost of the treatment. People have to sell their shops and suffering. In one case, doctor had to peel off the infected flesh from some part of one patient's stomach, thigh, and leg, which were critically affected by the radiation. As per a news report, at least 6 members of the department were booked under different section of IPC. Thermal pollution, I have already discussed with you during water pollution also. So it is mainly affects the aquatic ecosystem, where where the hot water causes the death of the normal microflora which is present there. Positive impact, there are also some positive impact. Heat may lead to melting of ice in harbors. In some cases, higher temperature may favorable change aquatic ecosystem and its function, also known as thermal enrichment. These are the but other are all negative effects. In case study, you can all go through it. The thermal pollution in Mississippi River watershed. Okay. Then another is the thermal pollution due to coal-based plant in Romania. In thermal pollution in nuclear power plant. Okay, nuclear power plant also need to be cooled down, due to for which water is used, and this water is very hot, and if it is discharged improperly, it will cause thermal pollution. Estuarian thermal monitoring for survey nuclear power plant USA. Thermal pollution in developed countries. Incidence of thermal pollution is observed more in developed countries. For example, in Britain, about 50% of the total river flows is affected by heat, whereas in New South Wales, around 3,000 kilometers of river length is affected by cooling. In India, in our study, it is found that cooling in India needs around 50% of domestic water needs. So, according to one report, over 60 power plants had to close due to lack of water availability during 13 and 17 in India. Coal-based plants have the highest requirement in India. Then oil pollution and its impact. Same, oil when added to the environment causes destruction of the ecosystem, and it is mainly due to our need for the oil. For our automobiles, and we extract oil. But when this oil is extracted, if it is not handled properly, it get added to the environment. This is called as soil pollution. Oil pollution is one of the most dangerous form of threat to the marine environment. Obviously, they block the light and causes destruction of the what do you say environment. Oils enter into the sea in various forms as crude oil and in separation fractions. So contamination So, contamination of water due to an oil pour caused by accident or human error is termed as oil spill. Oil is toxic in nature, and after causing hazardous effects on aquatic life, are carried to the different stages of food chain. And the unit, this unit deals with the concept, source, impact, and the fate of oil spillage. So, what are the sources? As I told, careless and human error, accidental breakdown or failure of the equipments, natural disaster, deliberate acts, okay, illegal dumping. Okay, all these are the sources of soil pollution. The effects. Then environmental effects. Oil pollution mostly affects the aquatic life, as I told before also. Birds driven into the ocean in search of food, and in the process, sticky oil spreads over the water surface, covering their feather and impairs their ability to fly. You must have seen in National Geographic Channel and everything. These seabirds, they dive into the water and catch the fish. So if there is an oil spill, what happens? These birds dive and the oil gets stuck in their feather, due to which they are not able to fly. Loads of newborn animals and birds die out of the starvation as the parents fail to detect their body scent because of the scent of the oil. Then introduction of gases by oil spill in ocean, water changes its chemical composition, which in turn makes water more acidic and can lead to the degradation of fragile ocean habitat, like the coral reefs. Then mangroves also being highly sensitive to oil and known to take up to 50 years to remove oil from pollution. In order to clean up oil pollution, sometimes it is considered preferable to burn it and its impurities and it imparts high intensity damages. Then effects on economy. Obviously, if there is a pollution, then we have an adverse effect on the economy, and moreover, oil spill has a very adverse effect on the economy, because if the oil spill is lost, then where will if due to oil spill the source are lost, then where we will take the tourists? So this is how the oil is oil spill. So control and management. Okay, there are appropriate system by which we can control the oil spills. Okay, they like the Maritime and Port Authority of Singapore, for example, have implemented traffic separation system in Singapore. Then several suggestions by experts such as the risk analysis of maritime transport system. Okay, oil spill risk model and ship and oil platform detected, which remotely senses the GIS, or application of bioindicators such as corals and mussels and their mortality. Okay, all these we can use to control oil spills. Okay, moreover, I don't know you have heard or not about superbug. It's a bacteria which can digest any type of oil. That is also used to clear oil spills. Then case studies are there. Mocano blowout. This is an example of oil spillage failure. A blowout protector and emergency cap of the oil drill is opened when in April 2010 after a blast in the Deepwater Horizon oil drill, around 80 crore liters of oil got spilled in the ocean. Next, around 3 months after the blast, the spillage covered around 13,000 square kilometers in the ocean. It is considered to be the biggest oil spillage accident in the history of US, which resulted in death of around 11 workers. So this is one case. Gulf War of 1991. This is not an example of accident, but a deliberate act of sabotage by the country with political reason, where around 200 crore liters of oil is spilled into the ocean. The example of world largest oil spill into the ocean, where Iraq released oil and ignited hundreds of wells in Kuwait Sea due to war situation. Then Mikuni oil spill. The Russian oil tanker accidentally caused oil spill of around 2 crores liter on sea. See, this much of oil spill, if it has not been there, I think so the oil rate would have been less. How much of oil we have lost? Hitting Hoshea coast near Mikwa village and adjacent area in January 1970. The spill destroyed the marine ecosystem with flora and fauna such as seaweed, fishes, and shellfishes. Okay. Then UAE oil pollution and water scarcity. In UAE, oil pollution concern water availability, as around 60% of the water comes from desalination plant using seawater. An oil spill of around 400 tons led to the closure of two desalination of water 1998. Then Lake View, Gusher, California, another oil spill. Then oil spill in Singapore state. The busiest route of movement of oil, hence has also witnessed number of oil spills. Mumbai tanker collision in 2010. An oil spill occurred in Arabian Sea, along coast of the Maharashtra state of India due to the collision between two continents. So these are the various types of oil spill and how to prevent it. Noise pollution. Have I told you noise pollution? Yes, I have told this one also. If
Yes, sir.
any sound which is irritating, we call it as noise pollution. We have already discussed this. I am not discussing it again. I'll be sending all the notes. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Health hazards and everything I have already discussed. Then protection measures also. Urban case of noise pollution also discussed. So let's see what is there in block 3. So in block 3, I think also we have completed it. Air control, we have done it. Air pollution and its control,
Yes,
we have
sir.
done the first day itself. Control measures and everything, we have done it. Water pollution also done. Noise pollution also done. Noise control. Green belt, I have told, means planting of trees around busy roads and everything so that the sound doesn't comes. This is called as green belt. Control of radioactive and nuclear pollution. These I have already discussed while we were doing that radioactive thing. Radioactive pollution, where we will be discussing means how the properly to dispose of radioactive waste. Okay, precautions should be taken. We should not be carelessly doing it. Okay. This is how a nuclear reactor operates. These are the things present in a nuclear reactor. Okay, and mainly it is used for to provide electricity. This is the cooling tower where mainly your water is required. So it is always near to a water body, and so heat, hot water from this cooling tower only gets to the water bodies and causes pollution. So these are the specifications of different reactors. Fast is pressurized water reactor with coolant is light water, moderant is light water, fuel is enriched uranium, steam generated in secondary loop. So what actually in radioactive plants, what it takes place, it will produce steam because radiation comes out in the form of heat. We are using this heat to produce steam, and from this steam we can power many engines and everything. Like a fast train engine, they were powered by steam. Okay. Then pressure heavy water reactor, heavy water, not natural uranium, gas cooled reactor, CO2 graphite, natural enriched uranium. Pressure heavy water, and natural uranium, gas cooled reactor, CO carbon dioxide, heavy water and natural water. Then gas cooled is CO2 and graphite. Light water is pressurized boiling water and graphite, enriched uranium and Soviet design. Upper 2 is natural uranium or natural or enriched uranium. Both can be used. Okay, now see, let's see the last block what it has. So it's the last block, solid waste management. Actually, if not directly, indirectly, I have already discussed about them during soil pollution, water pollution, and air pollution. And we know what is the solid waste. All of us know the waste which are coming out in the form of solid from our day-to-day activity, from our home and everything. We call it as solid waste. Okay, still I will give you introduction and everything. So waste source and categories of waste. We know that you already know what is a category or what are the sources, direct, indirect sources. Then biodegradable and non-biodegradable, that I'll make you clear. Anything which is degraded by microorganisms or biological organism, we call them as biodegradable, and they are not harmful waste. But any substances which are not degraded by microorganisms, like a plastic, glass, everything, we call them as non-biodegradable waste. Then solid waste and their classification. You know that all types of waste which are coming out from our household and everything is comes under solid waste. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Someone called me.
No, sir.
Okay. I thought someone calling sir. Sir, I thought someone is calling me. Okay. So we all know
Yeah.
these are the waste which are coming out from our households. Okay. It includes your day-to-day waste, e-waste like your mobile and everything. All these things come under your solid waste. Okay. So physical and chemical properties, that also I have already told while discussing other things. Okay. Then how to dispose? As we know, all nowadays municipality comes with a van. They tell us to segregate our waste before giving them. So that is the best way to handle solid waste. We should segregate it properly before doing it. Means the biodegradable waste should be in one place. Non-biodegradable waste should be in one place. Okay. So that's what here it is again: refurbished, bulk consumer, disassembler, recycler, etc. So best thing is the solid waste should be recycled properly. If it is recycled properly, it is no more a waste. We can get the best out of the waste. Then industrial biomedical waste, again they are also the same type. If the waste is coming out from an industry, okay, the type of industry depends on the type of waste it is producing, okay, how it should be handled. And biomedical waste are mainly the waste which are coming out from the hospitals. Okay, these waste are harmful because they contains pathogenic organisms and should be handled properly, because these waste are coming from hospitals. Okay, so this is how it should be managed. So that is why for every what we say, for every hospital and everything, there is special type of vehicles available which will take the waste from these hospitals and dump them in a proper way. Same way, same is applied for industries also. Industry should have their proper management system to manage the waste which is coming out. Mainly the wastes coming out from the purifying industries like refineries, okay, paper industries, okay. Here it is given waste, industrial, solid and liquid. On the solid, hazardous waste, non-hazardous, liquid, industrial, wastewater. Okay, all this comes under here, your industrial waste. The management of solid waste, municipal, industrial, hazardous, and biomass is a great challenge. Obviously, these wastes are produced in huge amount. In hazardous waste management and handling rules, so there are many rules made. Okay, how to handle these wastes and classification of explosives. If a explosive waste or waste is a solid or liquid substance or a waste or mixture which is itself capable by chemical reaction is called explosive. Flammable, if it able to burn, it is called as flammable. Then flammable solids, the solids which can catch fire. Substance of waste liable to spontaneous combustion. These are also harmful waste which spontaneously burn itself. Substance of waste which is contact with air emits flammable gaseous gas. These are also very harmful. Then oxidizing substance of waste which will, while it in themselves not necessarily combust, may generally be yielding oxygen, cause or contribute to the conversion of other material. In organic peroxides, the waste which contains bivalent structures are thermal stable unstable substances. Then poison, okay, substance which liable to eat and cause death. Or then infectious waste, substances or waste containing viable microorganisms that are toxic to us. Then corrosive, the substances which causes damage to our body, okay, skin and everything. Then liberation toxic gas is in the contained water and air. Then toxic substances or waste which, if they are inhaled or ingested or if they are penetrate the skin, may involve delay or chronic effect, includes carcinogen. Then ecotoxic substances waste which is related present in many present immediate or delay adverse effect to the environment, capable by any means after disposal of yielding another material. Management, same, prevention, minimizing, reuse, recycle, recover, and self-disposal. Okay, so these are all the way we can manage hazardous waste. First is your utilization, then incineration means burning, then hazardous waste successful landfills, okay, filling them in land. Same is with the biomedical waste. This also I have already told during soil pollution and water pollution, municipality and agricultural waste, how they are harmful and how to manage them. Hazardous waste I have told, then I have not told about e-waste, that I will be telling now. Okay, e-waste are mainly the electronic waste which are coming out from our electronic gadgets which we are using. Okay, hazardous waste we know from industry, hazardous waste like petroleum, residues, debris, oil containing waste, water waste acids, and these are all hazardous waste. Then flue gases, processes, residues, nitrogen waste, then chemical industries, apparatus using during the decommissioning, then arsenic, pesticides, textile industry, others. Okay, these are all heavy metals which are dangerous to us. Bioremediation also I have told, it involves use of microbes to decompose hazardous waste to a less harmful state. It is considered to be the eco-friendly approach towards waste management and is done does not involve the use of extra chemicals. Then phytoremediation, use of plants for the removal of the pollutant. We call them as phytoremediation. Then incineration, I have already told, burning the things at 2000 degrees centigrade. Then land disposal, filling them and dumping them in soil. There's Basel Convention. It is an international agreement on the control of the movement of hazardous waste. Okay. Then e-waste. Technical advances and the need of the transfer of large amount of information across the world in the short possible time have made us all dependent on electronic gadgets. But be it television, computer, laptop, tablets, mobile phone, etc. They are all are innate part of our life now. And in the last 15-20 years, we have been a paradigm shift in the way we communicate and the information is processed. Switch over from TV to plasma to LED screen, reducing size of hard disk and the use of mobile phone by almost everyone has made us dependent on them for very small thing. So these are the all e-waste. As I told you, any electronic gadget comes under e-waste, like television sets, refrigerator, washing machine, air conditioner, fluorescent and other mercury-containing lamps, cellular telephones, personal computers, copyright equipments, used terminal and systems, telex, and pay telephones. Okay, so these are all e-waste, and the issues we know, if they are not properly disposed, then what will happen? They will infect the nearby water and everything. Okay, so proper handling is we should go for recycling, means we should give them to the proper dealers who recycle them properly. Okay, this is how e-waste can be managed. I hope so. I have covered everything. Any doubts you can ask me, otherwise we'll end today.
Hello.
Man, yes.
Hello, sir. One question is there.
Yes,
Uh,
yes,
is
ask.
venom is used for treatment of cancer?
Yes, snake venom is used for treatment of cancer.
Sir, it is a poison, na?
Yes, it is poison, but see, cancerous cells are the cells which grow very rapidly. Okay, if you will not check their growth, what will happen? They will start killing unnecessary cells. Okay, so in that
Yes,
case,
sir.
snake venom is injected directly to these cancerous cells to kill them, and it is in very less amount, and it only affects which are rapidly dividing cells, and the person get cured of the cancer. So snake venom is used in cure of cancer.
Sir, that is the reason for their vomiting.
Reason for that?
Vomiting.
No, yeah, no. Reason is many other things are also there for vomiting. Okay, means it could be due to the side effect of some medicines also which are given. Okay, due to gas formation, high antibiotic, all these things. This vomiting has many reasons. Okay, and during their treatments also stress and everything that also causes vomiting and everything. Nausea.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir. Will you today share the all the notes?
Yeah, today I'll surely share all the notes and everything because my class is over. All the units today I'll share everything. I think
Okay,
so.
sir. But
You had communicated me with me. You can send me
yes,
a
sir.
hi
Yes,
now
sir. Yes,
only.
sir. I
I will
have
share.
communicated you.
Yeah.
Yes,
But
sir.
just send me another communication. I'll send. I'll just now. I'll share
Okay, sir. But if
on
we'll
WhatsApp.
come across any doubt,
You can
should
always
we
be my
ask
guest. You
you?
can always ask me. Yeah, anytime.
Okay,
Anytime
sir.
you can
Thank
ask
you,
me. If
sir.
I am busy, I will call you back also. No issues.
Okay, sir.
Okay. But anytime you
Okay,
can
sir.
ask.
Okay, sir. Thank
Okay.
you, sir. Namaskar.
Okay. Namaskar.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
सर प्रणाम सर सर आपन नंबर टा दियन सर मुझे कोच नोट जी पाइनी सर नंबर टा दियन
लेख नंबर लेख 8270
8270
21
21
3676
8270
हाँ सुना हाँ 8270 213676
आज्ञा
हाँ आउ ए नोट्स गुड़ा ना तुमको ऑनलाइन भी मिल जियो पठे दोची बट यू कैन गेट ऑनलाइन बट आई विल सेंड यू मते अभिया गोटे पठे दियो नोट्स पे सांग सांग तुमको पठे दोची ओके चलो थैंक यू ऑल
थैंक यू सर प्रणाम